This is One on One.
Carlos, let me ask you this. You lead a not-for-profit organization. We're here at the North Ward Center. This is the Dr. Martin Luther King celebration. We honored your good friend, Mo Butler, and also Amiri Baraka posthumously, and the mayor, his son, Ras Baraka, accepted that award. For someone like you who runs Big Brothers, right? What does it mean to you, and how important is Dr. King's legacy, particularly for the young people you serve?
You know, it was a blessing and honor to be in the presence of legends who are doing it every day, elevating the profile of social justice, fighting for social justice, and asking people to do something, stepping up in little ways. They're doing it in big ways, but really the real leaders do it in regular paces, little ways over the long term. I've also come to realize that social justice fight is a marathon race, but a marathon race at a sprinter's pace in a way. And so it's exhausting, but you see people, the legends who stand up, the titans who have been doing it for so long, fighting for our communities. That's what we're trying to do in Big Brothers Big Sisters. We're trying to get people to step up in very tangible ways. This morning we had this program through the mayor's office called Occupy the Schools at the Shabazz High School. A few days after, a number of kids were in a fight, an altercation, and one was stabbed. We can change the direction and the narrative of many of our communities one child at a time if we all did something. And the spirit of Martin Luther King, the spirit of Mo and the Baraka family is that, stepping up and doing things that are tangible that could affect the lives of our children. Again, it's a marathon race. We got to have the long view on this stuff. But celebrating people who've been doing it for so long is a blessing to be able to do that with our friends.
You know, it's interesting. We talk about Dr. King's legacy, and very often people think about elected officials and legislation and the Voting Rights Act, but it is sometimes not in laws, it is not in regulation, it is not in public policy, it's in the work that people are doing in the neighborhoods and communities every day like yours. Talk about the young men and women who you serve and what their problems and challenges are and what responsibility the rest of us have in the spirit of Dr. King.
Sure. Sometimes
By the way, what does that have to do with social justice?
First of all, this word, every single day, this country is based on some promises, some bold words about making a more perfect union, living social justice.
Constitution.
Liberty and justice for all. Yet our kids are faced with the reality that they feel that those words ring hollow, but for having access to opportunities and new experiences that offer them new perspective, they might be limited by their neighborhood, by their block, by their circumstances. And then we're simply asking people to step up, to help them build that bridge through the power of mentorship. We've all had mentors, and this is, you know, Mo and the Baraka family, they've all had mentors, your father. These are people who had benefited from people stepping up and giving them access to the rooms, the decisions, being at the table. And so what we're trying to do is give our kids who may feel that this American dream concept is...
Who are these kids and what are they facing?
They are disproportionately not having fathers in their homes. They're disproportionately being raised in a variety of households, if it's the foster care system, if it's with DIFUS, and they're below poverty level. And so sometimes, again, they are just trying to understand the world based on their personal experiences, limited by that. And again, we're trying to get your average people to step up. We can change the community. I think we all sometimes throw up our hands saying, we can't change everything, but you can change one thing. And if we all take an interest in one child, this can really revolutionize our community in Newark and beyond.
So finally, Carlos, people say, I can't make a difference, I can't change things, or it's futile. I mean, Dr. King never took that attitude because he knew it wasn't going to happen overnight, and he also, in the process, gave up his life. It was a struggle, and he knew that once he was assassinated, which clearly he talked about a lot and clearly wasn't surprised by, and those who knew him best weren't surprised by, it just goes on.
Absolutely, but he also was able to, typically we all point the finger at the problem and other things, but when we point the finger at the problem, we're also pointing three fingers back at ourselves. What could we be doing? And he embodied a movement that stood shoulder to shoulder with people and galvanized a whole movement of people. It wasn't just a leader, a cult of personality. He really galvanized a group of people in the spirit of love, the power of love that we were just talking about earlier. And that's one of those lessons that is transformative that will build a bridge to a better community in Newark, New Jersey.
Finally, you hopeful?
I am absolutely hopeful. I can't lose hope. I mean, this is something that you have your down moments, and again, you realize the long view. It is a marathon race to achieve social justice, to achieve that American dream. But I remain absolutely hopeful because I see the potential in our children's eyes every single day that we interact with them, that we mentor them, and we see them coming into schools with this God-given potential that we're just trying to help manifest.
Thanks, Carlos.
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate it.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by Bergen Community College, TD Bank, Kessler Foundation, MagnaCare, Johnson & Johnson, Cone Resnick, and by Adler Aphasia Center. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.